In this video, I'm going to teach you how to teach your dog a U-turn. A U-turn is when you're walking down the street and you want to change direction and do a 180-degree turn so that you can come back from the direction from where you started. You may want to do this to avoid a distraction that is too hard for your dog, or because you're ready to just go home. Teaching a U-turn deliberately teaches your dog to listen to a verbal cue as well as a body language cue and be happy to change direction with you instead of pull or be drug on their leash to go back the other way. As with any of our training games, you want to introduce the game in your house, then practice in your yard, then add a deliberate distraction before you actually use the game on the road and use it in a real life situation. That way your dog has a clear understanding of the game and what you're asking of them and learns the cue before you apply it to a challenging situation. In this demonstration, I'm going to be walking my dog on the left side. That means I want my treat bag, if using one, on that left hip. If you don't have a treat bag, put your treats in that left side pocket, which means my leash is actually going to be in my right hand, as is my clicker if you're using one. It's better to have your leash cross your body than your treat hand cross your body. If your treat hand crosses your body, your dog is very likely to cross in front of you and maybe even trip you as you're walking. Whereas if you treat with the same hand on the same side as you want your dog, it's going to be much easier for them to stay on that correct side and want to be on that correct side because they want to be where the cookies are. To teach the U-turn, I'm going to start walking with my dog roughly on my left side. I'm going to say my cue, let's go, and then I'm going to turn my shoulders, turn my body, and I'm going to click when my dog actually turns. Then after a few steps, when they catch back up onto that correct side, I will treat. This means that there is a delay between my click and my treat delivery. I want my dog to know that the turn is what I wanted, that's why I click then, but then if they walk a few more steps and catch up with me, they get their reward. In a real life situation, my dog wouldn't get their treat till we had taken a few steps away from the hard distraction. So that is why I want the delay to the treat delivery to be built in right from the beginning. You ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. As you can see, this game is really easy for Buddha in the backyard. That's because we practiced in the house and we've practiced in the yard already, so he is really easily turning his body in response to the cue, let's go, and he doesn't have any issue going back the direction from where we started. Because of that, he's ready for us to add a distraction. The distraction we're going to practice with is a bowl with a couple cookies in it. I'm going to set it at one end of the place where I'm practicing, and the first time we approach, I'm actually going to let Buddha eat the treats out of the bowl. That way that bowl will be distracting and tempting, and he'll be more likely to want to pull towards it, which will make it an actual distraction, so that we can practice turning away, let's go, away from something he may want. If your dog is already distracted by a bowl of food on the ground, they're interested in it, they may pull towards it, you don't need to let them eat out of it to make it harder. But you may find that after a few repetitions of let's go and moving away from the bowl and treating away from the bowl, that your dog starts to ignore the bowl. It may turn into a loose leash walking game where they're automatically leaving the bowl. That's lovely, but that's not the point. We want the bowl to be a distraction. We want them to be interested in it and intrigued in it and maybe even pull towards it a little bit. So if that happens with your dog like it did with Buddha, then you can let them eat out of the bowl randomly, occasionally stop before they get to the bowl and you turn away from it, sometimes go all the way up to it and let them eat out of it. That way that simple distraction of a bowl with food in it remains a distraction, and you can play 5 to 10 repetitions with that same thing instead of it turning into a loose leash walking game. Let's go. if a bowl of food is too easy for your dog, you might have a toy or a person be your distraction so that you can practice this game in a setup, in a controlled way, before you actually apply the let's go to a real life distraction that you need to get away from.